Hello, dear ones. My name is Bianca. I'm a chef in Ojai, California, and I cater healing retreats with using food medicine and organic foods and healing spices. And in this video, I'm going to talk about eating as a way of self-love. And I feel like this is so important, especially now in our modern society where there's so many things in our foods that, we can make these choices that can either harm us or heal us. And, having this practice of creating like healthy, beautiful food for ourselves is an act of self-love. And it's something that we need to incorporate into our lives and make as much time and space for as possible. And there's a lot of conflicting information about all these different diets, and I feel like there really isn't a one diet that fits all. We're all so unique and individual that we just need to tune into our bodies and just really feel into like what is working for us and what isn't. And we want to always just avoid all those chemicals. That's like one of the key components in eating as a way of self-love is just the purity of the food. Like that is so important. All these chemicals that go into our food, pesticides, genetically modified foods, the emulsifiers, the stabilizers, all the stuff you can't pronounce or that's questionable. We want to try and leave out as much of that as possible and just come to this place of the purity of the food. And, you can feel it. You can feel it when we really tune in. It's like, oh, that food really made me feel really sluggish, or like, oh, that meal that I made myself, like I had a lot of energy that day. That was really satiated, and so just tuning in and feeling into what feels good for us is really, really key in having that relationship and healing that relationship with food. Because we can harm ourselves with food, whether it's like what is it, the ingredients, or just like if we're overeating or if we're eating for emotional reasons. So many of us have experienced trauma and we use food as a way to comfort ourselves. And, this goes for drinking as well. We're trying to keep those emotions down or feelings down and just, comfort ourselves when we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed or scared. And so, when we do this act of self-love and we can just keep coming back to that no matter what is going on in our lives, maybe we're trying to like drink less, and like, oh, I slipped up and, I drank too much last night, or, I ate too much chocolate, or I ate too much bread or something, like you can always come back and like, this time I'm going to make that healthy choice. I'm going to make that green smoothie today, or I'm going to eat that healthy, vibrant lunch that has like all the bright colors, like we can always come back to make that choice each time. Because, we have to make peace with how we eat and what we eat, because, we can quit drinking, we can quit smoking, we can quit doing drugs, but we can't stop eating. We can't quit eating, unless we're just really done. So, just having that time and making it that practice, to love yourself and honor yourself is really important. And it can be such a beautiful healing tool that you can use, that you can always come back to. And, I've always found that even through my journey of eating more compassionately and eating healthier, that, sometimes money was an issue, or like, oh, I can't afford all this expensive organic food, but just like, just doing little steps really make a difference. Like, when I was drinking and I used to party a lot when I was younger, I always found money for like, cigarettes when I used to smoke, or beer, whatever I was drinking, but when I started to make those healthy shifts, I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy that pack of blueberries. It's only like 50 cents more for the organic, or like, I can buy those salad greens, or I'm gonna go to the farmer's market and just see what's there, and I'm gonna like try some new recipe. These are all little acts of self-love, and they really add up. Because there's the beauty is an inside job. I feel like in our culture, we kind of cover ourselves up with things, but when you're putting all this like healthy, beautiful, vibrant food in you, it exudes from your being. It comes out when we're putting that healthy fuel inside of us. And so even if different diets work for different people, different phases of their lives, some young children need a lot more nutritional needs, than the elders. They might have different needs. pregnant mamas, nursing mamas, athletes, we're all in different phases and different levels of activity in our lives. So it's just really important to just, really tune in to what's really feeling good for you. And just have that foundation of like, okay, I'm gonna eat my veggies, eat lots of brightly colored foods, make sure it's organic, get all those pesticides and chemicals out. In another video, I'm going to go into like the hidden ingredients of a lot of foods and just kind of break a lot of them down, because there's so many of them that can cause issues for us and we might not realize it. Like carrageenan can cause like gut inflammation. GMOs, genetically modified foods can also cause gut issues and upset the flora in our guts that is really like affects our whole immune system. And just over time, a lot of these toxins and these things kind of like wear us down. You're not going to just keel over after eating one unhealthy thing, but over time, we can start to, these things manifest, in different kinds of illnesses, or, we're just starting to like feel really sluggish, or we have brain fog, or we're starting to have, digestive issues, or our stomachs are hurting all the time. It's like, you want to get it before it becomes like a really serious issue. And these are little like wake up calls or little help, your body's trying to tell you like, hey, I need some help here, I need some love here. And so that's when we can come in and start to incorporate, some of these healthy practices. And also, it's not only just important of what we eat, but how we eat is also so important, because again, we're so busy and the world doesn't always allow us to just have that time and space, but we just have to make it. We have to honor ourselves to just really sit down and appreciate our foods that we're preparing for ourselves, or even if we bought ourselves something healthy because we didn't have time to prepare it, but just sitting there with your food and just appreciating and being in that gratitude of all the miracles that happen to make that food possible. The soils, the sun, the moon, the water, the farmers, the hands that harvested this food and planted those seeds, the people that drove, the food to the store, the people that worked in the grocery store that stocked that food for you. And, thank yourself or your partner or whoever made that healthy meal for you. And, when we're in that place of gratitude and just slowing down, we can really tune into our bodies and feel how these things and how these choices and foods are making us feel. And, turn off the phones, turn off the fear-based media. You don't want to be like eating something while you're hearing about, the latest horrible thing that's happening in the world. Just kind of put aside those things and just really be present with your food. Because when we're really present and we're chewing and we're relaxing and we're in like a peaceful state, we'll tend not to overeat because we're not rushed and we're not stressed and we're not distracted, and just really, really just taking the time to do that. And that can be challenging. I've struggled with that since I've become a mom, because, I'm just kind of distracted. I'm like standing and eating, sometimes I don't even sit down because I'm like, going back and forth because someone, one of my kids wants some other thing, or someone forgot to get their drink at the table. Someone spilled something, I kind of got in the habit of eating quickly because it was like, oh, I gotta eat while I can, I never know what craziness is gonna explode next or what's gonna happen next. But even like taking the time, like sometimes I'll eat like a few calm bites in the kitchen, like before I even sit down with my kids, or, sometimes if I'm lucky enough to have a few moments where I can eat just by myself, or just, even wait until my kids are done eating sometimes, and then I'll just drink some tea or just nibble a little bit at the table. And then when they're done eating and then they're jumping around, then I'll like kind of start to eat my food, because then I'm not like distracted with them. So, but yeah, eating without distraction and just like coming to that place of not rushing and just being like just really present with our food really helps our digestion and our levels of gratitude, and helps to prevent, overeating or just that kind of like, like mindless eating. And, even if we just take those times to be present with our food and just eating organic, all these things add up, and it's like always something that you can come back to no matter if you've, kind of fallen off the wagon with eating, you're like, oh, I ate a bunch of cake yesterday, or, whatever it happened, you can always come back to eating healthy and be like, okay, this meal I'm going to make a better choice this time. So just know that you're loved and you can do this. And the more that you create this practice for yourself, the more it will just become second nature. And the more you purify the way you eat and your lifestyle, you'll find that you just crave these unhealthy things less. Like you'll be like, God, that really just doesn't make me feel good. Like I just don't want to eat that anymore. Or I know that that's going to make me feel bad. And I want to feel good, this afternoon, or I just want to feel my best. And like the more you make those connections and start to build, that desire to eat healthy and feel better, it'll just become second nature. And then if you slip up, you know what? So start over the next day, start over the next meal, and you got this, you can do it, and you're loved. And thank you so much for tuning into this video. And we're gonna jump over in the kitchen and make a little healthy snack here. So let's head over there. And just remember that you have the power to make positive change on a personal and a planetary level with the foods that you buy and the lifestyle choices that you make. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the kitchen. Hey loved ones, it's Bianca. We've just been talking about eating as a way of self-love. So of course we got to make something delicious for ourselves for lunch that's healthy and yummy. So in this video, I'm just gonna make a little sushi nori wrap for lunch. So I've got my seaweed paper, and I've got some forbidden black rice for this one. I'm gonna make a vegan one, but you can use whatever proteins work best for you. And I've got some herbal kraut because we gotta make sure that our gut flora is all happy and helps boost our immune system. And I've got my tahini here, and I've got some sprouts, and I've got some avocado and some spinach, but you can try all kinds of different variations with this if you want to use a little bit of quinoa, or if you want to try a different sauce. You can put a little hot sauce in here, or some herb. You want to throw some cilantro in here. Just have fun and get creative with your food, because it's always fun to customize and make it just the way you want it. So let's get started on this one. I'm going to start with the tahini. I'm just going to put that down on the bottom here just so that the rice sticks to it, because black rice isn't as sticky as like traditional seaweed or sushi rice. So I'm going to put that on here first. Then we're going to add our black rice, forbidden black rice, just like that. And sometimes I like to just use like a veggie peeler to make shredded carrot. That way you don't have to dirty a whole box grater just to get a few carrot shreds. So sometimes I just do this and it's just easier to clean. So I'm gonna put the little carrot ribbons in here. These are fun to put in salad too. And then I'm gonna put some purple cabbage. Got from a local farm in Ojai. Thanks, Beatty. And I'm gonna put some spinach in here too. And then I'm gonna put some of my yummy kraut in here too, because I love kimchi. Plus it gives the wrap a nice kind of little spicy, pickly kick to it. And then we're gonna put some avo in here too. Oops, that side's a little tough. This one's more ripe. Put that on there too. And then if you love hot sauce or you want to add a little spicy to it, you can go for the hot sauce or some garlic sauce in there. I'm just gonna put a little sprinkle of sea salt on here. And then I'm gonna put these little yummy sprouts in here too. I'm gonna put them like this. Okay, when you roll up your sushi paper, it's always good to just get the edge just a little bit wet. That way it just sticks together more. And we're gonna roll this one up. And then press that seam down where you got it when you put the little wetness on the edge there. And then we're gonna do a little slice. And then we've got our beautiful rainbow wrap. Healthy goodness. Just for you, because you deserve it. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on eating as a way of self-love. And just remember that no matter what choices you've made, This is always a practice that you can come back to, of eating healthy and just starting over, and just the more you do it, the more purified your body will become and your food choices will be, and the better you'll feel. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, until it's just second nature and it's just part of your healthy lifestyle. So thanks again for watching. My name is Chef Bianca, and we'll see you next time. Bye.